Hey there, beautiful soul. Welcome back to the Blissful Biz podcast. I'm your host, Susanne Reicher, and I'm so excited to be here with you today. You know what? I've been thinking about this episode for weeks because I promised myself that after my recent launch of the Blissful Biz Academy, I would come on here and share the real behind the scenes story with you. The good, the not so good, and everything in between. And it's a little bit uncomfortable because we see so many highlight reels in the online business world. Everyone sharing their big wins, their six-figure launches, their massive email list. And why that's amazing, and I celebrate every single win, I think it's equally important to share the real, raw truth of a smaller online business. So I don't have the six-figure launch or the really big numbers to share. And yeah, that makes me feel a little bit not like a fraud. I've been doing this since 2016. I'm still here and, I make a living from my online business. But yes, I'm here. I'm going to share it all with you. I think it's really important and it's what we all need. And I want to show you the real truth about what launching actually looks like, especially when you're building a sustainable online business that doesn't require you to burn out. So grab your favorite tea, get cozy, and let's dive into what my recent Blissful Biz Academy launch really looked like. I'm Susanne Reicher, digital marketing expert with over 20 years of experience, turned yoga teacher, turned six-figure online business owner. 10 years ago, I flew to Bali for a yoga teacher training, fell in love with the island, and decided to build an online business so I could live there. Can't be that hard, right? That decision launched me into an adventure bigger than I'd ever imagined. Over the last 8 years, I've guided over 1,000 yoga teachers and heart-led coaches how to launch and sell their digital offers, build their brand and websites, and build a profitable online business. In this podcast, I share real proven strategies and the exact steps that work. Whether you're just starting out or ready to scale, we'll dive into everything from creating offers your students can't resist to making digital marketing work for you. If you're ready to build a business that brings both freedom and success, you are in the right place. First, let me paint the picture of what this launch actually was. Unlike those massive 20-day launches with multiple webinars and complex funnels and summits and all the things that you might see other coaches doing, I kept things beautifully simple. I did one masterclass, just one. Now you might be thinking, but Susanne, don't you need multiple touch points? Don't you need to show up everywhere all the time? And honestly, that's what I used to think too. But here's what I've learned. And this is something I teach inside the Blissful Biz Academy. You can absolutely have a successful launch without overwhelming yourself or your audience. The masterclass was called How I Build a Sales Engine That Sells My Online Courses Every Day. And it was exactly what my audience needed to hear. So here's what told me I was on the right track. My masterclass registration page had a 60% conversion rate. That means 60% who visited that page signed up. That's good. That's a really good conversion rate. And that showed me the topic was relevant to my audience. Like they wanted to hear me talk about that. When you nail the messaging and you're speaking to a real pain point, people will sign up. But here's where I want to get really specific about what I did differently this time. The biggest shift I made in this launch was leaning heavily into storytelling, both in my emails and on social media. And I think it really worked. The response was really strong. So looking back at my launch emails and social media posts, I shared so many personal stories. I talked about my grandfather who tried to export pianos to South America, but failed because nobody could assemble them properly. Real story. I shared how my mother built a successful software company, but then threw it all away when she fell in love and we all moved to New Zealand. These weren't just random stories. They were about the fear of success that I inherited and the patterns I had to break. I told the story of moving to Mallorca in Spain in 2023, feeling ready for a fresh chapter, but then having sales drop and feeling like I was chasing everyone else's strategies instead of staying grounded in my own approach. I shared how I had to pause, do inner work, and ask myself why everything felt so hard. In another email, I painted the picture of my Pinterest dream to reality journey, how I was obsessed with van life while sitting in an advertising agency, manifesting that lifestyle, and then actually making it happen through building my online business. Instead of just saying, join my masterclass to learn about group programs, and then join my program to learn about how to build your sales engine, I shared real stories about transformation, about overcoming inherited beliefs, about creating the freedom to live your dreams. I got vulnerable. I talked about my own struggles with launch anxiety, how I used to think I needed to show up as this perfect, polished entrepreneur when really my audience wanted to see the real me, the human me. And you know what happened? People started replying to my emails, like actually replying, also to my social media posts. I was getting more likes, more comments. I was getting emails that said, thank you for being so real. And that made me feel really connected to my audience. And that resonance, I think that's also what helped convert people, not some fancy sales copy or scarcity tactics. The other thing I did differently was really commit to showing up on Instagram every single day. And when I say every day, I mean every single day for 2 to 3 weeks leading up to the masterclass and then through the entire launch. But I wasn't just posting pretty graphics with quotes or something like that. I was doing a lot of face-to-camera videos, sharing behind-the-scenes glimpses of my day. I did really educational carousel posts, and I talked about my real thoughts and feelings about launching online courses. I shared the same stories as in my emails. And I think what really resonated with people was seeing that I'm not this untouchable guru who has it all figured out, but I'm a real person building a real business, and I have doubts and fears just like everybody else. But I'm willing to move through those fears to serve my community. And that's exactly what I want to model for my students. Okay, now let's talk numbers because I know you're curious, and that's probably why you're listening to this episode. And this is where I want to normalize what success can look like when you're building sustainably. I had 5 new sales of the Blissful Biz Academy during this launch. Not 10, not 50, 5 beautiful souls who said yes to transforming their businesses and their lives. And here's what's really interesting about these sales. 2 were completely new to my world. 1 had purchased my lower ticket program, Low Ticket Mojo, and 1 has been on my email list since 2022, never bought anything, but then also went through Low Ticket Mojo, my low ticket offer. This just shows you how important it is to nurture your audience over time. Some people need years to be ready for your premium offer. And those people who were completely new, they really came through social media, which was also amazing to see. And I also have 6 existing Blissful Biz Academy students who were automatically enrolled in this new live accelerator round, which brings my total to 11 incredible women that I'm supporting right now. And that feels absolutely perfect. The launch generated just over $12,000 in revenue, so it was a 5-figure launch, but it wasn't my biggest launch by far. But I knew it would be smaller, right? I knew this would be a small launch. You see, I could have pushed harder. I could have run Facebook ads to the masterclass. I could have created more urgency by offering a discount and, doing more things. But I didn't want to do that this time. And also, I think people who've been on my email list for a longer time already have seen me launching the Blissful Biz Academy a lot in the last years. Probably too often, if I'm honest. They didn't really listen anymore. I think it's interesting that I wasn't able to convert people on my email list who've been lurking there for a really long time, or maybe applied even to the mentorship before, and who I know this program would have been a great fit. But that's okay, because this time I'm setting up something completely from scratch in a way. So it's a completely revamped new structure inside the Blissful Biz Academy. It's still about packaging your expertise into a digital offer. And that's what I love doing. That's what I'm so passionate about. And this is what I taught in the first Blissful Biz Academy that I launched in 2020 and in all the iterations. And I wanted to keep that name. I could have chosen a new name for this program, but I don't know. I was like, this feels dishonest. It's still the spirit of that first program. It's still what it is about. And I love that name. I think it just felt so right. So my inner voice was really telling me, use this name. And so, yeah, listen, I'm going to use this name, even though it might confuse a few people on my email list who bought this program before, because, yeah, it's completely updated and it goes a lot deeper. And I know I'm building something here, right? So I know with this launch, with this update, I'm building such a strong, amazing, transformative funnel. So I'm happy that this launch, I got it out there in the world, I'm delivering it now, and then it's going to run on Evergreen, and then I'm going to launch it again. So that's why I relied solely on email marketing and organic social media, 0 ad spend. And those 5 sales, they came from people who were truly ready, who resonated with my message and my approach. And they are my ideal clients, 100%. I love working with them. It's just like a really supportive, amazing group of women. And it's just like exactly, how it was supposed to be. So those were the results. And launching, my thoughts about launching, what didn't go so well, I want to be completely honest with you. Even though I kept things simple, even though I was aligned with my values, even though I focused on connection over conversion, it was still stressful. Launching anything puts you in such a vulnerable position. You're putting your work out there and asking people to invest in it. You're waiting for people to sign up, refreshing your emails, and checking your sales dashboard more than you'd like to admit. I found myself worrying, what if no one signs up? What if people don't see the value? What if I'm not as good at this as I thought? And you know what? That's completely normal. If you've ever felt that way during a launch, you're not alone. It doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It just means you care deeply about your work and the people you serve. And here's what I've learned. That stress, that vulnerability, it's actually part of the process. It's what pushes us to grow, to get clearer on our message, and to serve at an even deeper level. But I'm ready to do a whole lot less launching than I did in the past. And because I know how powerful evergreen systems can be, I set up an evergreen funnel for the Blissful Biz Academy immediately after the launch ended, like 2 weeks later. I'm so glad I did, because we already have a new student who joined us through that funnel. This is exactly what I teach inside the Blissful Biz Academy, how to create systems that sell for you even when you're not actively launching. An evergreen funnel allows people to discover your work and join your programs when they are ready, not just when you happen to be launching. It takes the pressure off you to have these massive launch events, and it creates a more sustainable way to grow your business. Now, having said all that about evergreen systems, I still believe there's tremendous value in showing up live for your audience a couple of times a year to sell in a bigger way. Let me tell you why. First, live launches create energy and momentum that you just can't replicate with evergreen systems. Yes, they are exhausting, but when you're actively talking about your offer, sharing stories, answering questions in real time, that creates a buzz, a sense of community, and a feeling of this is happening right now and I want to be part of it. Second, live launches gives you the opportunity to refine your messaging. Every time I launch, I learn something new about how to communicate the value of what I'm offering. I discover new pain points my audience is experiencing, new desires they have, new language they use to describe their challenges. That information is gold, and I can use it to improve my evergreen messaging too. Third, and this is a big one, most people need to hear about your offer multiple times before they buy. I have students who followed me for years before they joined the academy. They needed to see me launch it, see other people get results, build trust with me through my content, and wait for the right moment in their own business journey. If I only had an evergreen funnel, some of those people might never have converted. Actually, the majority, right? But because I showed up live, I put the offer in front of them again. I created a new opportunity for them to say yes. And some of them, like in the past, became some of my most successful students. So that's why you should definitely still be live launching, even when you have an evergreen funnel set up. Now, let me share what's happening inside the Blissful Biz Academy right now, because it's honestly so exciting. I am completely updating all the content and tripping out the 8 modules week by week. We're covering everything from discovering your premium program idea to pricing it strategically, creating an irresistible curriculum, building your launch strategy, and setting up your everyday sales systems. It's a lot of work on my end. I'm re-recording all the trainings, updating workbooks, testing AI prompts, but it's also incredibly fulfilling because I can see how the curriculum is evolving based on what I've learned from working with previous students and what I've been doing in my own business. And this is exactly why having 11 students instead of, 50 feels perfect right now. I can give each person individual attention. I can answer their questions in detail. I can provide personalized feedback on their program ideas and their launches. And I'm doing all that, and I love it. When you're supporting that many people through a comprehensive transformation, you want to make sure you can show up fully for each of them. That's what having a blissful biz for me is all about, creating something sustainable that serves everyone involved. So what are my biggest takeaways from this launch? Let me share a few. Number 1, authenticity trumps perfection every single time. The posts and emails where I was most vulnerable, most real, most human, those were the ones that connected. People don't want to buy from a perfect person. They want to buy from someone they trust, someone they relate to, someone who understands their struggles because they've been there too. Then, simple doesn't mean easy, but it does mean sustainable. 1 masterclass, organic marketing only, no complex funnels. That might sound simple, but it still required strategy, planning, and emotional resilience. The difference is that it was sustainable. I didn't burn out, I didn't overwhelm my audience, and I didn't compromise my values. Number 3, quality relationships matter more than quantity metrics. 5 sales from people who are truly aligned with my work is infinitely more valuable than 50 sales from people who aren't really ready or aren't the right fit. Those 5 women are going to get incredible results. They're going to become raving fans, and they're going to refer other perfect fit clients to me. I also had no refund requests so far. I offer a 14-day money-back guarantee. Everybody's doing the work, showing up. And then finally, having systems in place reduces stress. That evergreen funnel I set up, it's already working. It's bringing in new students without me having to constantly be in launch mode. And that's what I want for all of us. Businesses that can grow and serve even when we are resting or walking the dog or doing our things. Moving forward, my plan is to launch a lot less. Instead of nearly monthly launches like I did last year, I'm thinking maybe twice a year. Maybe even just once a year for the main Blissful Biz Academy launch. Here's why. I want to focus my energy on serving the students I have, on creating the best possible experience for them, on helping them get incredible results. I want to have space for creativity, for rest, for the other parts of my life that matter to me. But I'm not giving up on live launching entirely. As I said, I think it's really important and it works best when you do both together. You do live launches and you have an evergreen funnel. Because like I mentioned, there's something magical that happens when you show up live for your community. There's an energy, a connection, an opportunity for real-time interaction that you just can't replicate any other way. Plus, launching keeps me sharp. It pushes me to articulate my value clearly and to continue growing as a business owner and as a leader. The key is finding the balance that works for you. Maybe that's launching once a quarter, maybe it's twice a year, maybe it's once a year with smaller evergreen offers in between. You could do a Black Friday sale in between or a summer sale where you just send a bunch of emails. There's no right answer that works for everybody, except the one that feels aligned with your values, your energy, and your vision for your business. Now, if you're listening to this and thinking about your own launch strategies, here's what I want you to consider. Start with your values. What kind of experience do you want to create for your audience? How do you want to feel during the process? What does success look like to you beyond just the numbers? Next, focus on connection over conversion. Yes, you want people to buy your offer, but the way to get them to buy is by connecting with them authentically, by serving them generously, by showing them that you truly understand their struggles and desires. Keep it as simple as possible. You don't need a complex funnel or a 20-day launch sequence or to host 4 webinars to be successful. Start with one really solid masterclass or workshop. Focus on delivering incredible value and making an authentic offer. Tell stories, share your own journey, your clients' transformations, the real behind-the-scenes moments. People buy from people, not from perfect marketing machines. Next, set up systems for long-term success. Think beyond just the launch. How can you create ongoing opportunities for people to discover your work and join your programs? An evergreen funnel, ongoing content marketing, consistent social media presence. Those are all great places to start. And finally, be patient with the process. Building a sustainable business takes time. Your first launch might not be your biggest. It probably won't be. Your second might not be either. But each time you show up, you're building trust, refining your message, and creating the foundation for long-term success. And there we have it. Let's wrap this up. Thank you for letting me share this real behind-the-scenes look at my recent launch. I hope it's given you permission to launch in a way that feels good to you, regardless of what anyone else is doing. There's no one right way to build a business. I want you to remember that. There's only the way that's right for you, that aligns with your values and that supports the life you want to create. And if you're interested in learning more about the Blissful Biz Academy, we do have that evergreen funnel set up. You can check it out anytime at my website, susannereicher.com, and then /Blissful Biz Academy. And if you're not ready for that yet, that's completely okay too. Keep following along here on the podcast, keep showing up for your own dreams, and trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Blissful Biz podcast. If you found this helpful, I'd love it if you hit subscribe and left a review on Apple Podcasts. It helps other yoga teachers and coaches find these strategies too, and it would mean the world to me. It really makes a difference. And if you're ready to take the next step, head over to my website, susannereicher.com, where you'll find my free resources, latest blog posts, and all the ways we can work together to grow your online business. Until next week, keep building your blissful biz.